Hello and welcome to this video in which we'll be looking at hot air balloon competitions, specifically the Fly-In Challenge. Welcome to the Big Balloon Festival. Before pilots are launched into competition, a briefing is held. This gives details of the weather forecast, but also the competition director will lay out the rules for the day's challenge, in this case the Fly-In, which requires pilots to travel a distance of 1.5 kilometers from a target, usually the common launch point. It also specifies launch times and a window in which the scoring period will be active. Here we've laid those details out onto a map, with the inner circle in red the minimum distance the team must travel before they can launch, and the outer circle the maximum distance that the pilots can go to find a suitable launch site. Traditionally, balloons take off from a festival and travel away from the site, using the low-level wind here shown in green and the high-level wind shown in blue. They can zigzag their way across the map. For the Fly-In Challenge, this is reversed, with pilots requiring to find their own launch site upwind of the destination and the target. Following the briefing, teams jump into their vehicles and head out into an unknown area to find themselves a suitable launch site. This can be the side of the road, grass verges, farmers' fields, sports and playing fields. Finding a launch site can be tricky. This is part of the challenge. If they have positioned themselves in the wrong part of the map, they will be unable to reach the target. Often, pilots will be travelling into the same area as other competitors, looking for similar locations from which to launch. As a result, teams compete to find themselves a good and viable location to launch from within the appropriate time window. Once a suitable launch site has been found and the time window is opening, balloons begin to inflate across the countryside. Teams rush to prepare their pilots and in some cases can be very late onto the launch sites, which are crowded with other balloons preparing for the Fly-In. If you find an ideal location where you're on your own, it can be quite unnerving to find that no other pilots have chosen this location. Once balloons start to pop up into the air, this can be quite reassuring for a competitor to see balloons flying over the top and heading towards the same target. Once the pilot has been launched into the air and is heading towards the target, the crew will do similar so they can observe the marker drop. Earlier, I mentioned a marker drop. This is known as a baggie, or a streamer, or a marker, and is a small sandbag attached to a streamer of bright, colourful fabric. The distance from where this lands to the middle of the target is what's used to measure the accuracy of the balloon pilot's skill. It is important to note not to move the marker if you're not a competition official. Several events around the world are well known for their fly-in competitions, such as Saga in Japan, and here, a demonstration at Albuquerque in New Mexico. We've highlighted on the image the area in red, the launch area for this particular day's Fly-In, the high-level wind in blue, the low-level wind in green, coming towards the camera, and on the left-hand side of the image, the white cross, where markers are to be thrown at the target. Targets can be opened for long durations in some competitions and only short durations in other competitions. This can result in large fleets of balloons arriving over the target and presenting spectacular images. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you'd like to know more about competition ballooning, check out one of these videos on screen now.